Okay, mijn naam is Jasper Geurtsen, zoals ik already told. As you already told just now, I'm going to tell a little pragmatic example of how we use AWS. It's for an internal project. It's called 30 megahertz, and we use SimpleDB, so the NoSQL. And it's in Azure. It's stable storage. Now all the code is in GitHub. 30 megahertz it's called, so you can just use it if you want. Normally I always take a picture when I start the presentation for the family at home.
Or everybody leaves.
And this was last week. Little 30 megahertz. Yeah, we use outside, like Jurg told you, TomTom to check our services from outside to see the uptime. But we had a few outages on TomTom and false positives we get. Even once I got 60 SMS in 1 minute. I think that was from 1970, that kind of SMS. So and also the resolution is 1 minute, and it's quite high, but it can be low, I think. Sometimes we want to check a website every 10 seconds or even every 1 second if we think there's a problem somewhere. So we came up with, why don't we build it ourselves? And that's what we did. And we use a little bit of Heroku even. Is somebody familiar with Heroku? No? Does anybody of you use TomTom? Or, yeah, or the other check tool? Like Cloud Mouse, or what is it? Cloud Mouse? The other thing? Okay, Watch Mouse. Okay, we use a little bit of Heroku, and these are the services we use from AWS. So we use SQS for the queue stuff, the SES for the emailing, and the SNS for alarms, for email notifications. And we use instances, and also a worker in Heroku. We use SimpleDB, and that's the big surprise. And we use DynamoDB. And we use we put stuff, all the machines we put in CloudWatch, so we can make nice graphs, and we can make alarms on latency, for instance. That's what alarms. And it's all the new fancy icons of AWS, so they want to get to the fancy stuff on Azure. Yeah, we also. This is the architecture. It's very decoupled, I think. We use SimpleDB. We put accounts in. So we have, for instance, 10 partners. And every partner has, for instance, I think 10 checks, so 10 URLs. And that's all in this guy. So this is the administration. Then we have a worker. It's a Dyno worker, they call it, in Heroku. It's a little instance. You can deploy, for instance, Python code on it, and you can scale it out. You can, if one worker cannot keep up with the queue, you can just say, two workers, so 3, 4. It's very instant. But you cannot autoscale it on triggers. And then also outside, like Azure services where you can do it, but we didn't use that. This is quite expensive. The first one is for free, so it's nice to develop and to play with. If you want to have another one, it will cost you $35 per month. And they're not so powerful. They're a bit not so good, so you need more. So it can be, if you have a big application, a lot of checks, you need a lot of workers, so it can become quite expensive exercise. I'll tell you later about it. So what it does is reads out accounts. The scanner will schedule the checks. So if you want to check every 10 seconds, it will put every 10 seconds a job in a queue. And it does for everything. So every 10 seconds or 1 second or 1 minute. So you can see how many jobs are in. So that if it's very busy, a lot of checks, the queue closes. So you can scale your dynos. Dynos cannot be scaled, but if you have easy tools, you can do it. So what the worker does, the probe we call it, the checker, he gets a job and it will check the URL. It will measure if it gets response in the kind of latency. If it's after 10 seconds, it says it's a failure. We set a failure in the results. If it's good, we say it's good. With the latency, so for instance, 100 milliseconds. So in the result queue is read by the result parser. This guy will look at all the results. And if it looks, oh, it's good, oh, nice, good. We put it in simple B, in the result. So every item is stored in simple B, like a sort kind of history builder. If it's false, then it will email the subscriber that, oh, you have a failure in your account. So that's actually the ping and SMS that your site is down. And there's also some algorithm behind it, how many times you are notified when it has to fail for 7 times or something. And all those results are also immediately put in CloudWatch. And in CloudWatch you can make nice graphs. I'll show you the graphs. It's ready. For instance, all the metrics we have here. We make 30 megahertz metrics. And for instance, what's a good one? No, it's not in there. This one planet. So you can see every 5 minutes or every minute. I think we check this every 10 seconds. So here we have a problem. It's a little bit spiky. You can do it over 2 weeks. That's the only downside of CloudWatch. It only stores 2 weeks. After it will follow. So you have only a window of 2 weeks. Sorry?
Like you said, it's almost the same, but in the backend you can still query for a period of more 2 weeks.
No problems.
With you, Azure.
Azure, okay, good. So it's better.
I got some money back doing that, so yeah.
Okay, how to find problems. That's why we store all the logs in simple2b, so that we can build up history and make our own graphs. But this, here's a gap, we did some maintenance. That was all. Planned maintenance. So actually we are quite happy with it, because it's, the only downside was that the workers are quite expensive. So we replaced this guy for each 2 instance, for micro instance, and just Python code, we can just put it on and we can scale it. We even run it now in 3 regions, in the US, in Ireland and in South America. So we can check certain websites from 3 points. Because we have one partner who has also 3 regions. It's interesting how fast it is from where and okay. So this, then we have some stats. We're a bit proud of, or not. This is stats we built last year December, I think. So this time we started building it, and in January we kind of really used it, and in February we were really up to speed. So at that moment we had 81 million SQS messages. So that's 31 messages per second, and it cost you $81. That's $1 per million. Right. Quite nice. Only Jurg said, did you look at the Amazon bill this month in February? No. What's the problem? Yeah, the simple B is a bit high. Oh, So that was a bit unexpected, because we had asked him to be nice. It's just a service. You don't have to set up anything, no maintenance, nothing. Just use it and just put all your stuff in. Fire and forget. Build up history nice. But you are using it so heavily because you pay what you use. And we use it a lot. we expect. And that's because we used 10 accounts and around 50 checks. And Roku was 0, but it was also mixed out. So there we also had to, that's why we replaced it with each. But it's a little calculation with 66 checks per second. Because the SQS is twice, it's doubled, because of the job and the result. So you have to divide it. So it's $500 around, divided by 16, so it's 10 checks per second, it's $31. It was a bit, we're not that happy with it. So in January that year, there was a new feature announced, it was DynamoDB. We are a bit of nerds, of course, so DynamoDB, that's interesting, we want to play with it. So the first thing in our mind popped up was, oh, maybe we can replace SimpleB with DynamoDB. And look at the cost, what does it do? So yes, we had a problem. We had to think about it. Should we really change it? What was the problem? Yeah, that was the problem. And where did it lead to, this problem? Do we have enough money, This in so we need to change. So, yeah, SimpleB is an NoSQL database. DynamoDB is an NoSQL database, so that would be a nice fit. Yeah, probably know NoSQL a bit, I think. It's just easy, value key stuff. And yeah, the good thing is that you don't have to do maintenance. It's replicated. It's very guaranteed.
I didn't know you also have to pay compute costs for SimpleDB, because that's not the case. You pay like 1 cent per gigabyte and a few cents per.
Yeah, you pay also for the amount, but it's yeah.
But you
it's
also
dollars.
pay for compute.
Yeah, that's the right.
Yeah.
And that's the most expensive one. We also didn't expect it because we use SimpleDB for other stuff like the backups. We administrated the backups, the snapshotting, and also for deployments for Git tags. Production Git tag is this. That's a little bit maintenance. So it's only dollars per month. This is something else with all the logging and all that. So yeah, a little bit about SimpleDB, not too much, but more the terms. So a table is called domain in SimpleDB. Yeah, this is actually a little table and quickly created. And the item is an index, so this is your query. The attribute has a value, but all the attributes are indexed, so you can really search through it very fast. So SimpleDB. And you can make nice selections, searches. DynamoDB is a bit different. DynamoDB, yeah, it has tables, and it has a hash key, so that's your index key. For instance, this one. And it has a range key, so you can search on it. But not everything is indexed, so you have to do an action on it.
This is the same as this.
Okay.
We also have a petition key and a row key, which are the same as hash key and a range key.
Oh, that sounds
And
more.
the rest is not. So essentially, this sounds more like data storage. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I put the sales terms from SimpleDB on the sheet. Well, I was getting a bit confused about those terms. It's low touch SimpleDB. Yeah. You don't have to do much, I think. It's high available, that's always good. It's flexible, also good. Simple to use, also good. And designed for use with other web, Amazon Web Services. I don't know. Yeah. What? I think it's also very fun to read it. And DynamoDB also has sales terms. It's more about fast and predictable performance. Because what you do with SimpleDB, you just pay for really what you use, it's compute. But for DynamoDB, you specify your read and your write capacity up front. So you say, I want to write 10 items per second, and you configure your table for 10 writes per second. And that's also what you pay.
Fixed.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you do more writes above, for instance, 20 writes, then you get email notified. Oh, you're going above your requested capacity. Do something, or you get throttled. So you get 400 back if you use the HTTP. So what you can do easily then is just scale up your read capacity. All right, but you can only do that once, scale down per day. It's a little bit a little detail. Sometimes annoying. But there are also kinds of those limits, like the 20 instances that's a protection for your own credit card, that you don't get over it. And I think that's 200 writes per second for time. So you have to request, and then you can double each time. So you go to 50, you go to 100, not 50 to 200, no, 50, 100, 100 to 200. You have to double it. And it's also replicated, so it's very 99 watt. It's flexible, secure HTTPS. Yeah, this is nice, integrated monitoring. For instance, simple to be, it doesn't have, it's not part of the AWS console, like JavaScript. It's a bit, I think, we give other tools. Like, this guy. This is just a plugin for Chrome. You put your access key and your secret key, and you see your domains in simple to be. So there you can see checks, accounts, item name, region, where do you want to check it, which URLs. So it's a pity it's not in.
Do you have a SQL language on DynamoDB as well? Because I saw you had SQL queries and SQL.
No, yeah. Do we? Not really. Some people make kind of SQL webs around it. You have kind of queries in it.
I don't know.
And Dynamo you have
Simple to be you do in Dynamo.
Okay, the DynamoDB is very nice because what it just showed you now, they have everything in the AWS console, also the monitoring with graphs and your write capacity, what you really use. You can see that. I can show you. So. Oh, there it is. Okay. Go to Dynamo. And you can also even edit your table in here. For instance, this is the monitoring of this table. It's like the CloudWatch graph, but then specific for this service. It's all kinds of stuff. You can also look at this, explore table. You can just edit it, type, and you see this hash key, the account ID. So they put a lot of effort in this, but not with simply. But that's maybe because of this. Introduction date of SimpleDB is 2008, and DynamoDB is just beginning of this year. So it's 5 years different. So SimpleDB is very old for AWS features already. First stage beta, that's a lot. What's not beta?
They're really not beta, but there are also many beta.
Right.
RDS is also still beta.
It's very weird. So it doesn't say much if it's beta. It's all 8 regions. DynamoDB was not in South America yesterday, but this morning they announced it, so I have to change my stuff. It was amazing. Fully managed, they say. It's also AWS Word. Seems to be yes, but not in the console. And Dynamo, yeah, you saw. Storage size per domain is 10 gigs. So that's a limitation. Maybe for the locking we did. So at a certain moment you will hit the DynamoDB says unlimited. Now some little details. Item size, you can have one item can have 265 attributes. By DynamoDB there's no limit in attributes of items. Only you have one limit, and it's the size is 64 kilobytes. So you have to divide yourself. The capacity is 25 writes per second for SimpliB. In by DynamoDB you have this proficient throughput, so you have to configure yourself. You can tune it. We took this this time. Okay. And then we're in June. We moved to DynamoDB. We did now 3 zones checking, 3 regions. So we did 188 million SQS messages, $188 again. So it's more than doubled. DynamoDB costs were $19 only. And mainly it was the write, 58. And this is the write capacity hours, you see. That's quite a lot. So if you calculate the time, we do 60 checks per second. Adding those values, now we end up with $17.70. So we divide by 4, I think. It's 31. Yeah. So that's was really good. So we were a bit more happy, yeah?
It's still very expensive.
Anything?
Yeah, compared to table storage.
It's a lot, huh?
Yeah.
It's a month, huh?
It's a lot of money.
Good to try.
That's right.
Especially $4.50 per gigabyte still. No, $1 per gigabyte.
Yeah, I excluded you have also the free part, eh? So you have 100 megabytes free or something.
In Azure you pay $2 per gigabyte still. So that's 150. And then you pay for access per read that you do. And you pay a small amount for 10,000 reads.
Oh, that's enough talk to it?
Yeah. $12 cents of 8 euros per 10,000 operations on a day. And your scalability target of 2,000 reads per table and 20,000 per accounts, and you have 5 accounts by default. So,
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Interesting fact. Good to know. Thanks. It's not cheaper. I can show you a little code if you would like it. You like it? Yeah. C-sharp? We made everything in Python. Because, I'll show you a little bit of how simple it is actually to use those. You have this high-level interface, TomTom. It's a Python library for AWS. So you can, very high level, you can connect those to services. So, for instance, we give a string domain name. You just do boto, it's the library. You connect to simple to be. You put in your X key and your secret key. And then you have a connection. If you succeed, there's no error handling here. If there are no errors. Yeah. Then you get a domain. You want to get a domain name. And then you return a domain. That's it. And then you can do a lot of fun stuff on your domain. For instance, then we put in domain. You just query all the accounts, for instance, for the 30 megas account table. And you return the account with it. Easy going. Then we just get an item from an account. You just you query over it, you return the item. Check ready. So you have the whole row. It's very basic. But that's to show how the AWS high-level interface is straight.
The library is provided by Amazon, what is third party?
Now Boto, it's called Sanade, this guy.
See,
A nice guy, but he just is hired by AWS. But before he was doing that.
Boto is for Python and it's not officially supported, but they hired the guy as a senior engineer at AWS, so it's kind of an endorsement. And it works okay. But there is PHP, there's .NET, those were already from the start. You have Java, which is more or less the de facto standard that has everything. And now you have Ruby, you have iOS, have Android.
Yeah, probably Boto will also become Python. It's actually, if there's a new service out, then Boto will have a new version with support of it. It's very good.
Modules?
Yeah.
Is there no yes officially?
It's all, I'm not sure if it's officially for Amazon. I'm not sure. There's no C.
No, there's no. If you know a good C library for AWS, please
send them mail. We are looking this week. But you can do everything via HTTP interface, of course. So you can make your own stuff. But you have to do different things with signatures and. Get item. Yeah, this is in the this little part is in the result checker. So we have you store the success. You get again the account domain. Then you get the item via the function show true. You get the succeed value because I'm counting the succeeds for this algorithm, how many succeeds and failures. Because you want only have one email or two emails, you can configure everything. And after 10 failures, it stops the email. So what we do, we store only we reset here the values. And here we put a new succeed value in. And here you do a save, that's all. It's easy going. No error checking here. The DynamoDB is, we rewrote it in I think half a day to DynamoDB. So it's the same level. It's easy to get both connect with your keys. You get your table, not your domain, but your table this time. And then you iterate to get your account with.
Do we have to get the items out one by one from DynamoDB, or can we do?
Yeah, you can do batch read and write.
But we're probably within one hash.
Yeah. And next for simple reads, next 25 I think, read and write. And DynamoDB is 100 read or something, 50 write. There's some limits. And also that's also true with DynamoDB. If you do a query, it's limited by a amount of number because it can be a huge part. So it will enter thousands items or something. And then you do the next.
Same energy.
It's also logical if you think about it. Store result. That's a bit. Yeah, just make a new item attributes where I want to store. Get the table name. Make a new item with a new hash key in the attributes, and then you put it. This way we store the results for the history. And that's to show how easy it is. Let's go more. There's the store succeed. It's the same, almost the same code. Yeah, a little bit to end it slowly. Little points I had in mind. I think this is a batch read write, what you just described. DynamoDB is nicely integrated with AWS console. don't forget that because SimpleDB is a bit limited. They have a lot of tools. SimpleDB is good usage for small administration stuff. I think it's very handy. For our backups, it's administration. So, of course, normally we have $1 to pay.
Yeah.
And we use it quite heavily.
Yeah. We use it also for, if we do MongoDB, for example, we automate a lot of stuff and we administrate the topology in SimpleDB. If you need like a zookeeper kind of, if you need like a manager instance again, you introduce another component that you need to manage, and we use SimpleDB for that because it's always there, it's always works always.
That really fits best in apps where constantly uses the database, like our application. So you provision it, pay for it. That's what you see. AWS SDK is minimally image, what we just said.
Yeah.
And also the HTTP. If you have questions about that. I'm very happy with this application because it's so nicely decoupled with these queues. You can just look at the queues and you put alarms on it and get the estimates in the account. And you just scale an instance or you scale it out or scale it up. It's very nice.
If you have problems, like if we work with like a pretty big social network, fashion social network, and their architecture was a little bit not like we wanted, and there were problems that we really couldn't see very well. So then we have to go to check every second. And we wanted to check for several months every second on different points from different points around the world, and then we could compare. So we found out that what like Akamai, something that they paid, I don't know, a couple of $1,000 per month for, probably 10,000 or more, was not performing as well as Akamai said themselves they were, because Akamai sells their CDN and they sell their performance on that CDN, so it's part of the same package and it all looks very nice. And those are things that you can't easily see with something like Pingdom. If you have problems that you can't understand very well why or when or how, then if you check it every second and you see like on millisecond level the performance from the outside, you start to understand better what is going on. And you don't have these tools, and this works fine. And there are also interesting things like we have the scheduler just schedules something every number of seconds, and it doesn't time it. So we have a check in the queue, but we don't say this check has to be performed at 1 second past something else. We just say we need this queue to have a kind of a regular input, and then we say that we want to keep the queue empty. So that gives us checks every second. It makes it very easy. So if we want to add another region, or if we want to check from another location, we add a queue and we add the checker, and it's extended.
That's very. It's also very easy to understand with this decoupled stuff. It's very easy when it goes wrong, or the way you need extra power.
How big is AWS actually involved? Cloud computing in general, actually. Are a lot of companies actually making use of cloud computing already involved?
Yeah, we see a lot of new companies using it.
A lot of startups are using it, but if you compare it to the US, Europe is tiny, I think, because the US gets all the attention and Europe not very much. The CTO is Dutch, so that helps a little bit. If you compare Holland to, for example, Germany, I think Holland is huge and Germany is tiny. Now we see last year you see more arrived corporations, bigger corporations getting interested in it's you see Shell, for example, can be used as a reference customer now, and so you see it picking up a little bit. But it's not extremely big yet.
In Belgium?
That's right. Well, there's more and more interest.
I think the conclusion is about the same. Big companies now start to try that. They will not heavily invest in it, but they will bring concepts or certain specific low-hanging fruits, how we call it, to try out. But it's not really overwhelming yet.
No.
Yeah, you can do things you couldn't do before. It's also that mindset change.
So the big companies still have to make that mindset change.
Yeah. And the example of the 1600 instances from before was we ran those 1600 instances for, it's a startup, they don't have a lot of money, but we ran those for 48 hours. And then we scaled down again to about 30.
It's only a few $1,000 to do.
Yeah. You can't do that. But the other example is like the 12 EBS volumes attaching to one instance. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to have 20 great volumes attached to your machine, to your hardware.
It's also, do you know Logstash? Do you know Logstash? It's the kind of central logging service. We start using it at the moment. And we wrote an SQS plugin for it in Ruby. And what we do is all those instances have shippers, Logstash shippers, and they ship their logs to this queue. So first SQS. So the SQS fills up. And the Logstash server just gets the message from SQS and put it in Elasticsearch.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also a NoSQL in-memory databases in your search engine. But Logstash uses for storage.
And what you see is.
Now the funny thing is, we have one customer is actually developing a new application, new platform with a lot of developers, and some new guys coming in. So it's a lot of people make mistakes. But when we monitor the queue, and if the queue gets quite full, I said, oh guys from the chat, what's happening? And then you look on Logstash, you see trace routes, So it also helps with your development. It's very fun. And that's cool because you can't keep up. The queue just gets full and the Logstash server continues and starts consuming. And now it's gone again. Or you just throw away the whole queue because it's all full with rubbish.
Next time.
Another guy uses this also for kind of backend tracking. Also Logstash. He just puts in SQS messages about what happens, which region the guy can, what does he do, and he can build up statistics. It's very nice. Yeah, questions?
Nice.
Did you make the calculation? The price calculation?
In my head?
Yeah, because we went to $2,000. 188 million divided by 10,000 times 12 cents.
Send it on email.
Okay, hey, that's nice.